Yeah, we've just caught this calf. He's been laying in the corner this morning. He just didn't look very happy in his face, and he didn't go outside when we opened the door for the others to go out. So we're going to check his temperature because the weather has been mild but very damp the last few days. So the easiest way to do this, keep them still. This is just a normal digital thermometer that you'd use on a baby. You'd put it in the rectum. And this is a very quick one. It reads in 10 seconds, so it will tell us very quickly if he's got a temperature or not, or she. There we go, it's done. And 105.2. So she's got quite a high temperature. So we'll give Metacam and Alleimycin. So the first thing we'll do, clean needle and syringe. I use the 18 gauge needles for the calves because the Alleimycin's quite thick and syrupy, so you'll need a slightly bigger needle. This goes in the rump, deep muscle injection. This one does sting, so once you start pushing it in, they will start moving because it does sting a little bit. And then we'll give Metacam. I treat anything over 103. Calves' normal temperature is normally between, it's around 101, 102. A calf this size will need about 11, 12 mil of Alleimycin because she is quite big, being a Charlie as well. You don't need to worry about air bubbles or anything in this because it does just go into the muscle. And then also with a smaller needle, which is the green ones, we'll give her 3 mil of Metacam. This will help bring down her temperature, just make her feel a bit more comfortable, and it also helps their lungs a little bit because it's an anti-inflammatory. So we'll just draw this one up. This one I tend to do under the skin near the neck. This one doesn't need to go into the muscle, just as long as it goes under the skin, so you don't need a thick needle for this one. Right, so this one, I'll just down near the bottom of the neck here, just under the skin. She's not going to like it very much, but this one doesn't hurt at all. Just slowly push that in. So this will help with her breathing as well, although she's not that bad. There was no obvious signs of her being ill, apart from the fact that she was a bit quieter this morning and she sort of had her head down a bit, so I've been keeping an eye on her. This one, she's not going to like, so I'm just going to push her up a little bit tighter. Right. I always tend to give it a bit of a rub. And then, she's not going to like this bit very much, because this one does sting, but it's only for a few seconds and she'll be fine. And then what we'll do in a minute is we'll put a rug, because it is quite cold and damp, give it a bit of a rub there. So it does sting a little bit, so she ain't going to like it very much. It stings more than hurts. Right. So now I'm just going to put a rug on. I make these ones myself. Because they're indoor calves, they're not out in the field. They don't need thick, all-weather rugs. These only cost me a couple of £, if that, to make. And I just sew on some clips and some webbing straps. And this just helps keep them warm, stops any sort of drafts when they lay down on the floor. So we somehow lost audio on the last couple minutes of the video. I was just explaining about, there she is there. When I made these black rugs, I made the loop that normally goes under the tail go down a lot further, sort of around the back legs a little bit. This was because we had a calf that had a rug on for a couple of weeks, and it actually got quite sore under the tail. So my partner suggested bringing it down, so then you don't have to worry about it rubbing under the tail there, especially if they've got it on for a little while. She'll be feeling a lot better already within a couple of hours. The Metacam works very quickly, helps take down any inflammation in the lungs, although she's not coughing at all. It just shows how important it is. Temperatures, if there's any sort of sign at all that they might not be 100%. Her sort of only thing that made me wonder was that she sort of had her head and her ears down a little bit in the corner over there. She was dehorned 3 days ago, and that's a bit stressful for them. Calves are very susceptible to stress, but it's something that we have to do. It's safer for them and for us that they don't have horns. They don't feel it because we do use a local anaesthetic, but the weather has been typical pneumonia weather. It's been a lot warmer and very wet, very sort of misty rain, so it's always worth just checking. Only takes a few seconds to check their temperature, and 99% of the time, if I'm a little bit concerned about one, then they normally do have a temperature, which she had, which was quite high. We will keep an eye on her, of course. I've now shut the back shed doors because it started raining quite heavily. The older calves are fine. They'll sort of go in and out in the other shed, but these are still a bit younger. They've had a good run round for a couple of hours this morning, which is good to clear their lungs, a bit of fresh air. So she'll be absolutely fine in a couple of days. The others are doing well. I haven't swept the floor yet. These have all been weaned and dehorned now this week as well, so they're all settling in really well. So yeah, that's it. We've had a very good week actually. Nobody's been sick, I'll say, apart from her. They're all growing well. Our delouse, the last few that haven't been done as well this week, and then we've just got 6 left on milk. We'll start weaning those in a week's time, so in the next 2 weeks all the milk will be done. But we've had a good calf season so far, not too much trouble, touch wood. We've still got the 56, well, got all that we sort of started with, which is great, and they're all growing well. But I say it's just a bit of a reminder how important it is to check their temperatures. By tomorrow she could have been quite seriously ill. They go downhill very quickly, so catching them this early is great because it means that it won't sort of affect her lungs, hopefully, which can affect their growth in the future. So it is very, very important.